The night was dominated by the moon flashing the light to every living thing creature, also the Usher house. Inside the house, the last descendant of the Usher family was still in their sleep. The silence and the darkness were surrounding them, reflected by the light of the moon, and the shadow of an unseen soul started to fly around whatever they want, just like the soul of the Usher family hiding some also view about their domestic. They were locked down deep in the dungeon, now releasing to dominate this night. When the time has ended, the moon with its power at night now was replaced by the sun. The darkness was broken by the light, and the potency of the moon has given was now weakened. Every isolated soul crushed each other to hide every corner of the house before the light even touched them. Now of the early morning traveled the light, the lack of space in the window to get into my room. It was too jealous to shine on my face, which reflected my nature beauty, the beauty that every living thing around me wished to have was a kind of winsomeness that which has impossible to reach. Looking further outside seemed to be ugly or deadly, but in a special place like Usher, there was an existence of rose. That rose will bring every man's soul away after falling in love to be a part of the Usher family. The beautiful rose had a perfect appearance from the outside but hid a dark secret that had never been discovered by anyone. The bloomy rose looked gorgeous from the outside, but the thorn carried on itself an hidden potential threat. If that rose was so perfect too, I wake up in the early day of morning and took some fresh air, followed by the gloomy mood of a house that had existed forever. I walked toward the glass and mirrored myself, start to brush my hair as usual, and make sure that my wisdom was immortal.
Many days ago, the special news came to my ears. My brother's childhood friend would arrive soon. I had given the name Marv. It should be good when someone visited our house, but it didn't give me any surprise when living in the alone old kingdom for a long time had frozen my heart into the ice cube. No such feeling could bring me back to a normal. Roderick told that he will ride his horse to visit us in the afternoon. On the way we went downstairs and I noticed that there was a sound outdoors, the roar of the horse. Knowing that Mark was coming to our house, capturing the weird guy that Roderick mentioned before, I was not impressed by this guy, who was in the black coat. I ignored him for a moment and stared at him for a whole period, hoping that this guy was able to stay in the house where evil spirit had existed here for a long time. Meanwhile, in my look, Mark was on his horseback on his way to his old friend's house. The weather outside was nasty and sunny at the beginning, but started to run darker and darker as the cloudy day. Somehow I could see from his nose that I was able to smell it, the smell that gave him an unforgettable memory. Plants and the healthy mood had not long lived until Mark entered his house. All of his movement was under the control of my eyeball, and each of his actions had been captured. The black smell had returned once again on another side of the road, and the mascot of Usher had flown over my head. The raven flew over the house with red eyes, carrying some weird disease, and the smell of death slightly weeping through. Every time the mascot came carrying her broken news, I knew that it would come for me soon. The scene turned when Marv went to the main lobby. At the same time, I was in front of him in the dark corner without any doubt. He could smell sinister danger that could last for a long time and would bring him an unhappy ending. His eyes shot up hopelessly. Signs I was looking at. That guy and my brother Roderick sat in the chair and talked with each other like a brotherhood. I smiled at the corner and talked to myself. Marv seemed to be stimulating to discover. Every night the sound of the heavy rain on the top of the roof awaked me up. Some kind of illness had invaded part of my body. The door of hell had opened since many doctors had been alone. The devil's hand had an open way to grab my soul at any time. The house that I lived in for a decade now turned itself into a castle, and that illness living inside limited my mobility. Might may fall into the darkness, driven deep into the bottom of the ocean where the lack of light was gone. Shadows fall over my heart, walking down the stairs, waiting for darkness to come around. I close my eyes, but I won't sleep tonight. Perhaps I should allow myself to mirror myself for the last time in glasses. My beauty started to decline, just like every dead creature out there. The last rose of Usher, which was also the last part of Usher, had no longer been carrying the family name.
There was a sound of the unknown word, a sound of an unknown creature willing to bring me away. I walked slowly into my lovely bed and immersed myself in the last comfort before it was too late. Not last for a long time, the last breath went out, but somehow I was able to hear what happened out there. It was like I fell into a hole, couldn't move my hands or legs, and my mind was buried in the dirt. My eyes go hurt, just kept frozen with fear, and my eyes longer opened it and closed it immediately. Asking myself, am I still a human or a god who will be stuck in this house forever? The body and soul are now in two different worlds, crying by myself, looking out of the window, seeking appeasement. I heard the sound of a door knocking outside, knowing that my brother was coming, but couldn't do anything. I tried to scream out, but it didn't work so well, flying around my room hopelessly. Finally, the red, bloody moon raised to open the golden grate from the hell. I saw my Usher family soul dancing under the light like wild animal that had not able to keep human nature. Some were able to keep their human nature, walking around the house seeking something. After a while, Roderick opened the door, seeing me sleeping in the bed, and realized that I was no longer living. Roderick kneeled down and started to scream, calling himself madness when he tried his best to take care of his beautiful rose. After that, he ran with a candle in his hand and called his friend to help him out. The fire of his candle burned brightly inside. The mandatory house quickly shut down by the darkness. The plan was made. Roderick and Mildred put me in the coffin, carried me in the vault. My soul was still flying around the house, seeing that what happened to my brother. At the moment Waking up again, I was inside the tomb. The body and soul were back to normal. However, I was out of control, scratching at the coffin like a beast trying to rip it off.
Nevertheless, I ran to the illusion, hearing the noise in the world, again and again every night. Although I was alone, and no one was there at all, the demon whistled in the gloom, and shone his shoulder while I'm stuck in the coffin. Through a small hole in the tomb, the demons were out there and smiled at me. My soul was at the throne of the dead. He is here to welcome to death. And I was praying to him for the last hope. The contract with the demon had been signed, under the name Madeline. Selling my soul to live a bit longer? What happened if a person gained half blood of human and other half was demon? Every single memory that comes to your mind was now just gone. The demon stole my shoulder, made a weird noise and vanished into my shoulder, using one hand and pulled the tomb off easily. I become prettier, with the 4 ears, four eyes and a long tail. The frozen heart had been burned by the fire. With the roar of the demon that lived inside me screamed out like a beast to scare the enemy, willed to revenge who had pulled me into the deep. Every single step on the stair make a crack noise. The red ear looking forward for my victim. Entering to the room where Marv and my brother stood, I opened it my big mouth and bite him a big one. Also clapped myself on him. The mouth was still on the neck, and the hand was tied up all over his body, and the tail snipped through his heart. But the rest were dead. The souls were locked down into the dungeon of the usher house. I loved my brother so much, and bringing with me was the way to show my love. I ran away, but I didn't know that I had turned into the raven and followed him all the way along. The crack from the roof leapt into the bottom of the house, started to decline. My secret of the usher was a sea buried into the deep, and Mav couldn't able to dig it up, and no one will see this usher family ever again when the last descendant no longer carried the name. Mav rose on his horse, fastly past the jungle, looking at the red moon dominant in the night, followed by the heavenland, and there was 2 ravens standing still on the branch of a tree, looking at Mav with the red blood eyes. I and Roderick were the 2 ravens who staring at him, looking at the moon and the soul brought away by the demon.